Hello everybody, it's Mr. Matthew Does Coding, and today I'm going to show you a really simple trick that you can use to stop repeating yourself when you're coding. So I'm going to give you an example just so that we're on the same page here. So I assume that you've been in a situation before where you have a part that maybe does something, right? Like if the player, or if it gets touched, if the player touches it, then it gets destroyed. Something like that, right? So I'll just write that out real quick. Something like this, right? Touches it, and it gets destroyed. And you might want to do this for a ton of parts, right? So I could just have like a million of these all just spread around. And this works fine, right? But you might have something a bit more complicated than what I'm showing you right now. You might have something that does like multiple functions and has like module scripts hooked up to it. And if you want to change something, then that's a big mess because you got to go into every single one of these part scripts to change it. And I used to be in that kind of situation, and it was a really big pain in the butt. But there's a really simple way to fix that issue with two things: tags and the collection service. So first I need to explain what tags are before we can talk about the collection service. Tags are basically a way to categorize instances in your game. So like if I wanted to make all these parts here that I have tagged as destroying parts, then what I can do is I can go up here to view, and then over here in the top right of this whole block there's the tag editor, and there you go. Right here you have this window that pops up. It's the tag editor. You can click new tag, and then you can name it whatever you want. I'll just name it destroying parts, or destroying part. Yeah. And then you've created a tag. Simple as that. And then if you want to label some things with this tag, then all you have to do is select them in the Explorer, and then you just hit this little check mark right here. And now you can see, if I turn on world view, that all of these are labeled as tagged. They got this little box around them. So there you go. Now they're all categorized as destroying parts. Super simple, right? Now what we can do is take every single one of these scripts and actually fuse them, or not fuse them, but really just simplify it down into a single script. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to go into the server script service, and I'm going to add in a script. I'm just going to call this destroying parts script. And now we're going to actually do some stuff with the collection service. Now the collection service is kind of like tags, but with code. It categorizes things that you specify, and it does some sort of function with it. So let me give you an example here. Let's get the collection service first. So local collection service equals game:get service collection service. And then what we're going to want to do is write out this line. Bear with me here. For I, part in collection service get tagged destroying part do. Now, this might look a little bit confusing to some of you, but it's actually really simple. This is just a for loop, right? Like any standard for loop. And this part, which might look like the scary part, is really just a table, because the collection service is going to get everything that has the tag destroying part attached to it, which is what we did over here. So it takes every single one of those instances and it puts them into a table. And then through that, we can apply the code that we want to each one of those parts, hence the part variable, which would typically be v. Now, all we have to do is take this kind of thing that we did here and put it inside of here. And all I have to do is replace script.parent with part, just like so. And that should be all you need to do to make all of your parts work inside of a single script. Super simple. We don't have to do any of this garbage with a million different scripts, right? So I'm just going to remove all these scripts now, and I'll demonstrate how this works. Oops, I actually did this wrong. It should say hit.parent right here, not part. That was my bad. Now, everything should be good and working now. So if I go onto this, then it gets destroyed. And I'll even prove right over here that these parts have absolutely nothing inside of them except for the touch interest, which is actually proof that this did work. It applied a touch interest to every single one of our tagged parts. And as you can see, they're being destroyed. And you can see how this is going to be very useful in instances where you have very complicated scripts and you need to change things to your liking. Like if you have maybe some farmland and you want to change how long crops will grow for, maybe how fertile the soil is, like what the rates are of different things, how long it takes to plant something, then you can change it in one script instead of having to go back to the 100 million other ones that you might have had previously. So that's basically it for the collection service. It's so simple, but it's so helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you did, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.